They love joking around. They love messing around. Like, I love being able to incorporate that into the videos.
But so, like, talk about the snowboarding video for a second.
So, like, the snowboarding video, first of all, like, I talked to a bunch of the guys in the NYPD, and they're all like, "We love that video, man. We love that video." And when the guy pulled us over at the end of the video, like, what he said, and it's on camera, he's like, "Somebody called complaining about you guys. I just need to make it look like I'm telling you not to." And then he, like, shook his head, and he's like, "All right, have fun out there." And we, like, took off and kept snowboarding. So, no, like, that was a really fun day, and I think that any cop with half a brain, which they all have, they're all smart people, they look at it and they're like, a couple people having a fun time, it's innocuous, no one's being hurt, and they're not doing anything really that stupid here, so let's let them have fun.
But I'd be intrigued to know, with that video or with the bike lanes video, how do you kind of come up with that? I mean, because that's clearly, in both cases, it's you sort of reacting to something in the environment.
Well, the bike
really
lanes video, have you guys seen the bike lanes video? That was just like me being mad. And when you're like mad at your teacher or whatever, you're like, I wish I could tell the world how mad I am at Mrs. Plotnick. I was just like mad at that cop, so I made that video, and it did really well. And now, like, literally every once in a while, I get a picture from him, and it's like him and Candace. He's like, "Hey, I found your wife," and it's like the cop and Candace. Like, what is going on here, guys? But the snowboard video is literally something I've wanted to do for 10 years. And, like, I bought that ridiculous monster truck of a Jeep so I would be ready for when a blizzard hits New York City. And I had snowboards I had everything ready to go. So much so that a year ago, when we were supposed to get this huge blizzard in New York City, like, we had everything ready. We were totally staffed up. Like, my friend Finn Harries, you know him? Finn was in town, and, like, we all stayed in a hotel. The snowstorm was supposed to be so bad. We all stayed in one hotel, so, like, the next morning we could just get out there and shoot it. And we woke up, and there was, like, this much snow on the ground, and we're like, maybe next year. And then this was the year.
It finally happened.
Yeah, it finally happened.
What was it like snowboarding in New York?
Don't ever try that, guys. Don't ever snowboard in New York City. But it was it was insanely fun. It was so outrageous. There was too much snow for cars and too much snow for cop cars and too much snow for, like, anything but snowboarding. It was amazing.
Wow. So you have, like, so your life is basically, like, full of memories. But has anyone, like, if you had to name, like, the most memorable fan you've ever met, just, like, walking on the street, vlogging, like, what can you, like, think of on the top of the head?
And, I like meeting everybody. It's hard to say, like, which is the most memorable. Like, I just met a kid outside who took a selfie. He seemed really awesome. If you're here, dude, what's up? But no, like, meeting everyone for me is always, like, a big honor. It always means a lot. It means a lot to me personally. I can tell you, like, the most surprised I've ever been when meeting fans was when I was at the Oscars. And I'm literally, like, at the Oscars, like, wandering around like a dope with my vlogging camera, not sure how to behave or what to do or who do I make eye contact with or, like, can I get some more of those tiny cheeseburgers? And, like, a guy with an Oscar in his hand comes over to me and he's like, "Hey, I hate to do this, but you think I could get a selfie for my kid?" And I was like, "You just won an Oscar! You can have whatever you want." So it's those moments that they always catch me off guard.
We have a question coming in on Twitter. Remember,
I was wondering why you were checking Twitter. I was like, dude, just wait till after our talk, and then you can check Twitter.
It's because
you're being really rude right now.
Some very important questions coming in, though. Here's one that I always wonder about. What kind of drones do you use, and how often do you ruin, parentheses, kill those drones? That's from at Haley Irwin, if she's out here.
I've probably been through, like, I can tell you exactly. I've been through 9 drones so far this year. 6 of them are Phantom 4s, which is probably my favorite drone out there right now. And I took number 6 out of the box like 4 days ago. But the thing about drones and gear in general, and I just talked about this in one of the episodes, but, like, they give you, like, incredible opportunities to do, like, cinematography that's never been done before. But there's absolutely an inherent risk to the hardware to shoot that stuff. Like, if all you want are, like, big shots of the sky where you see a city, very safe, very easy to do, you're never going to break your drone. I'm not interested. That's boring. These guys would unsubscribe if all I had was stupid, boring aerial shots. So to integrate the content from a flying camera in a meaningful way that actually, like, that improves the storytelling, that improves the totality of a vlog, you have to take chances with it. I mean, I break these things like once every 3 weeks, and it's because this is how I carry it. I do not own a lens cap. I don't. The minute I buy a new lens, the lens cap goes in the garbage, because I would rather have a scratched lens than miss the shot. I'd rather break the camera than miss the shot. And I feel that way about everything I do because this is my life. So I know a lot of people get, thanks guys, I know a lot of people get frustrated when they see me just like destroy gear like it's going out of style, but there's real purpose behind it, and I refuse to make the hardware precious. All that matters to me is the conversation and the story. This is just sort of a catalyst to get me there. Who asked that question? Who asked?
There was one question that I wanted to get to.
I was going to give you an Oreo. Nobody raised their hand.
Oh, she got it. Oh shit! Oh, he took it from her, man.
Dude, if you don't share that Oreo,
cold.
I'm going to come out there and stab you to death with my tripod.
Cold.
Someone out there was also asking if you can sign their laptop, but maybe we'll save that for
That's the best question we've got coming in. I feel like we're having like a really smart dialogue here.
I got a question, Casey.
Lay it on me.
You know, nowadays there's so many creators who are starting to work for bigger companies, you know, whether in television or streaming, feature films. You're somebody, you know, before any of this was happening, you were working with HBO. What kind of advice do you have for kind of younger creators who are maybe looking in the long term to take their brand in that
Don't
kind of
waste your
direction?
time with TV or movies. Like, don't. This is where it's at. And I mean that, like, to really reduce it to something. How many creators out there? Yeah. Like, if you're a creator, what that means for all of us is that, like, we believe in our ideas and our perspectives so much that we're compelled to share it. That's sort of what all of this is predicated on. We want to share our ideas. So therefore, like, we should only be sharing our ideas in the environment that enables us to do that the best. So, like, what does TV have? Like, sounds cool. You sound like a big deal when you're like, I'm on HBO. But, like, do you really reach the same amount of people in the most meaningful way? For me, the answer is absolutely not. My show is on HBO on Friday nights at midnight. Can you imagine if you could only see the vlogs Friday night at midnight from 12 until 12:22, and then you don't get to see them ever again? Like, that is so limited. So when it comes to YouTube, it means, like, you control everything. Like, I can share whenever I want. Everybody gets to see it whenever they want, on whatever device they want. Why would you possibly look elsewhere? Let go of the ego behind it and instead of focus on what matters, which is reaching the audience. And nothing enables that like the internet. Or like YouTube. They don't want me to say that.
So pretty much your life is revolved with vlogging. Like, your life isn't vlogging, vlogging is in your life. Like, how do you have like those times where you're just like, I don't want to edit right now?
Yeah, every single day. Last night, there were like all these really cool parties going on for people that have these yellow passes. Sorry, guys. And I didn't go to any of them. Like, I didn't have a sip of beer last night. I was done with like everything. I was in my hotel room by 9:45, and I was asleep at 10:15. I was up this morning at 3:30, editing a video that I finished at 7:45, so I could be at my first meeting by 8. And that is what 7 days a week, 365 days a year is for me, because when the choice is like party and get drunk and like hang out with friends, or make something that I get to share with like the world, it's a really easy choice. What excites me more, what makes me happier? The idea of making something, nothing supersedes that. I love the idea, the act of creation. And that's why, like, I say, and I'm very vocal about this, like, there are two priorities in my life, and only two: family and work. And everything else is like in some sort of miscellaneous bin of priorities that I keep under my bed. It is that. It is family and it is work, and I don't really care about anything else. And that's how I approach everything. And that makes it really easy when I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely rather sleep 4 more hours right now than edit another video. But when I just think about that, it's like, no, let me tackle this video.
Well, and there's a question coming in on Twitter that I kind of like because it's maybe in this more reflective mood from @TofuDigin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you could go back in time to when you started on YouTube, what would you do differently?
I would have switched to daily much sooner. Honestly, like, I always considered, oh man, it works. I always considered, how long do you think I can keep it balanced for? Hold on.
5 seconds.
10 seconds.
It's
30 seconds.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5.
No, 4. That's 4. That's 4. 4.5.
I always considered YouTube when I first started as just another way to share the content. You've got film festivals, TV, you've got movie theaters, and you've got YouTube. And I was completely wrong about that. I neglected the very thing that I loved so much about daily, which is the dialogue. And it took me until I switched to daily to realize that. And looking back, that was a mistake. I should have had a greater understanding, a greater appreciation of that much sooner. And I think that like anyone, whether you have like 30 views or 30,000 views, you can see that like humans, real people, are choosing to watch your content. And when I only had a couple hundred views on my videos, like that meant so much to me. And I think I undervalued that when I first got started.
Oh, you go for it.
Oh, you.
Please.
You don't have an Oreo pack. You got to work for it. Come on, man.
true.
Keep up.
Well, I'd be intrigued to know, I mean, since you're so focused on this now and on vlogging, I mean, what's next for you? I mean, like, you're already doing so much. What kind of projects are you working on now that you can talk about?
I mean, the short answer is more. Like, all I want to do is more. The reaction, the response, like I'm still fairly new in the vlogging game. It's only been a year. I want to do more of what I'm doing right now, and I want to do it better. And I want to see what happens. And until I like evolve that understanding, I don't see any reason to like look elsewhere. Why would I do something different when like what I'm doing right now I love so, so much? And everything's cyclical, nothing lasts. But right now I feel like I'm like, if the mountain's this high, like I'm halfway up it when it comes to figuring out what this vlogging thing is and what the potential is behind it.
So with like vlogging, you're always backtracking like in the past. And now that live streaming is becoming more of a thing now, being in the present and still, in a sense, I see people broadcasting, they'll be broadcasting their life. Like they'll go like for 6 hours. Have you ever thought of implementing like live stream with vlogging?
Who's live streaming right now? I'm high.